I am not a professional. I just figured I'm going to be here, so why not share the stream? So like I said, this is Big Twist Supernova. I bought a bunch of it before Joann's closed. And so I'm using this to weave a bunch of scarves for a show that I'm doing next weekend. Yes, I'm waiting till the last minute. Because it's really pretty. I did a video on Supernova a while back in a different colorway. And it was actually so pretty that I did a follow-up. And so I figured I've got a bunch of it. Why not make some things out of it? So the warp is mostly, well, it's about half the Supernova and about half of other things I had laying around that looked good with it. So I tend to be scrappy when I make things. Ooh, the Scrappy Weaver. Maybe that's... I've been wanting to rename the channel because it doesn't really tell you. It's not very descriptive. Magpie and Molly is my business that I opened a long time ago. Originally I was making jewelry, my husband makes pottery and that sort of thing, but for this channel it doesn't seem, it just feels like it should be more descriptive so that people know what it is. So I'm tossing around ideas in my mind. The name I want and can't have is, excuse me, is the Not So Rigid Weaver. It's genius, I love it, and it's taken. So now I'm trying to figure out an alternative. I don't know why this is so wobbly. Am I having some tension issues?
So what's this show you're doing?
It's called Woolly Fest, and it is in Covington, Kentucky. Yeah, and it's just basically, there's a lot of fiber art, a lot of fiber dyers, yarn dyers, craft artists, all revolving around wool. So it's pretty fun. We did it last year, just on a whim, and we did really well. I was astounded. So I decided to do it again this year, and I just, yeah, I'm just kind of getting a late start, but that's okay. I'm fast.
Apple O'Day asks, is the Not So Rigid Weaver taken? Do you like it spelled that way? And I think she has the Knot, K-N-O-T, So Rigid Weaver.
That actually is a very good point. That's a good suggestion. The Not So Rigid Weaver is it's another YouTube channel that seems to, they have a rigid heddle weaving software that you can go into and make patterns out of. So
Apple O'Day continues saying, my business is called Fully Woven, and I've had a few requests to buy domain. I will pass it along when I retire.
Oh, very nice. Yes, hang on to it for now, for sure. Yeah, naming things is so difficult. I just feel like for YouTube it needs to be more descriptive, so... And I think it would be nice if it had rigid in the name, because there's lots of other kinds of weaving that I don't do yet. Actually, that's a good point. I just realized to myself, if I put rigid in the name, then I won't be able to branch out and do other... I mean, it wouldn't have the double meaning then if I was doing other kinds of looms. Oh well.
I don't think
one thing at a time.
I don't think that that's a problem, though. I don't think...
Well...
You know...
you know, the whole point of having rigid was that I thought it was a fun, you know, play on the kind of loom, but who knows? All I know is I've got a lot to do. I feel like, should we have music on or something? It's really quiet.
What kind of music are we allowed to have on?
Oh, that's a good point. We don't want to mess up copyright stuff. That is a good point.
Maybe some Baroque.
Some public domain. Well, I think anybody who's tuning into YouTube to watch somebody else weave really isn't expected to be blown away by pyrotechnics and, you know, excitement. So.
Echo, play Baroque music. Is it Alexa or Echo?
I don't know.
Computer.
I don't even know if it's connected.
Oh.
Anyway, that might create a echoey. I don't know where it's going to come out, and it's all right. It's all right. People can always play their own music if they want to listen to music while I'm on here. One of the things I like about this yarn, and I'm so sad that I can't get anymore, is that it has these, occasionally has these really thick spots. I don't know where my other one was that I already did, but it gets really, really thin in places and then really thick in others. Every so often you get a thick spot. And I can imagine that would be aggravating in some circumstances, but I really like it for this because it gives it more of a handmade feel to it, I think. And the sound of the barking dogs, I'm sure, very entertaining. My salvages aren't looking too good yet. I gotta focus. I tend to have people ask me about my setup because I'm not using a stand. And the truth is I have a really small room where I do my weaving, and I need the table in here. There's not really enough room for the table and the stand. Plus they're expensive. So I just have this sitting on my work table. There's a ridge on the front of it. I found this, I don't even know where we got this piece of wood. And the ridge holds the loom in the front, and then I just sit it up on a 2x4 in the back to give it just a little bit of an angle. So it's scrappy, but it works. See, scrappy.
Apple a day, do you use, one moment, do you use different yarn for the warp?
For this one, yes, partially. So, let me see if I can get this in the, hold on one second. Can you see this is a variable dent heddle? So through the larger, the number 5s, I've got the big twist. And then through the smaller ones, it's just yarn that I found in my stash. I'm not positive what it is, but it had the right colors, and it had the right colors, and it was the right thickness. And the reason I'm not using all big twist is because it gives it a little bit of contrast color, plaid-y looking stuff, and I had just enough to do a whole scarf with one cake of this stuff, as long as I supplement the warp with something else. So there's a couple reasons why I'm doing that. Oopsie. Wasn't paying attention, and I went through the same shed twice. Can't believe it's already November. I'll grab the other ones I've already done in a little bit so you can see the other colorways of this. I guess I could grab them now. Hold on one second. Squeaky chair. Oh, here they are. Couldn't remember where I put them. So this is one colorway. It's got the black, or it's really more of a charcoal in the warp in the same kind of areas, and then the big twist, the supernova in the weft. And then here's another colorway. I don't know if you can see that very well, but it's earth tones, browns and oranges with like a cream base. And then this one is blue and green. I think this one's called Earth, which was really pretty. So those are the three I did yesterday. So now I'm trying to get some more done today.
Apple O'Day says beautiful.
Thank you. I really love this yarn, and I've heard, I think somebody told me that there's another version of this done by somebody else that basically looks exactly the same. So I have to look into that. I meant to look into it, and I just forgot. But it would be nice, because I really would love to have more, you know, without spending eBay prices or whatever.
Says that there's 11 watching, so if someone else wants to pop in the comments and say hello and say where you're watching from, that would be really nice.
I don't know if they can hear you. You think they can hear you?
Maybe. We have 10 watching now that I said that.
You scared someone off. I know when I am on just browsing YouTube and I see a live stream going, I'm always hesitant to click on it, because I'm like, they're going to see me and know I'm here, and then if I want to leave, I'll feel bad and all this kind of stuff. So, uh-oh, what is happening? Got a big old loop?
Oh.
Somehow.
Tinka42. Hello, all from Hanover, Germany.
Wow. That's incredible. Oops, sorry, I bumped the camera. I've got ancestors from Germany, which I've been researching for a long time. What in the world did I do to this? It's all messed up. This has never happened to me before, and of course it had to happen while I was streaming. What the heck? What in the world did I do? I think a loop must have just come off of it. Let's see if I can wind it back on, if it'll go back into shape. So that goes there.
Apple O'Day says, me too, my mom is German. Hi, Tinka.
Sorry, everybody. I'm sure this is really entertaining to watch me untangle yarn. I don't know what I did. Okay, you know what? I think I might just need to cut this. Cut it and unwind it and start it over.
Okay.
Because this, I don't know how this happened. It got all tangled up. This is so weird.
Yeah, I think Trouts is, I mean, I know it's German, but I think it's Strasbourg. It's like I don't know if it's the Black Forest in Germany. Tinka might know.
I mean, you know, I don't think anybody would hear the name Trouts and not be like, yeah, it's German.
Yeah.
Very, very German. I'm about to lose my mind. This has literally never happened to me before. I don't know what is going on.
That's the beauty of live video.
Yeah, it's like all your mistakes just wait to happen until you can't edit them out. This is very frustrating. I mean, I did say I'm not a professional, so I'm proving it right now. Okay, let's try this and see if it works itself out.
While Jen is fixing the yarn, what projects are you guys working on in your neck of the woods? On your side of the globe? All craft is good craft.
This is unbelievable.
I'm a potter, but I've been really busy with teaching school.
Whew.
And planning out school lesson plans and going to school for my certifications, so I haven't really been able to touch art except for the lesson plans, which are really fun. I've had a lot of fun making plans for the kids. We have 2 of those small looms. I'd like to bring those in.
Yeah, the samplets.
The samplets, yeah.
That is a wobbly selvage. Okay, now we're back on track.
So what's the video that's in front of you?
What?
What's the one videotaping you on your phone?
I'm not being snarky. I don't understand what you're asking me.
What is that showing you? Is that on?
Showing myself?
Is that on a stream, or is this just like a mirror that kind of process video?
Do you not see it in the top corner of the?
Oh, I didn't bother to look.
Oh, okay. I was starting to panic, thinking that it wasn't showing up.
Oh, I feel such like a goofball.
It's okay.
Apple O'Day. I'm working on a painted series of native botanicals.
Oh wow!
I made the paint and paper, and now I'm making the paintings.
Wow.
That's amazing. So are you?
Wow.
Is this a tempera egg based paint, or are you using different oils to mix the paint? I've studied some paint making with like raw umbers and things like that, and dry materials for colorants with egg based temperas. I thought about doing that as a project for my painting class that we're doing now, where my students can make their own. Yes, a tempera. Okay. It's soy based. That's so neat. You might have to share the recipe. That's so awesome.
That would be like me spinning the yarn and then weaving the fabric and then making a garment.
Yeah.
I mean, that's impressive.
I watch a lot of Domestika, which is like a Spanish-based art educational site, and they had a class on that from a calligrapher, because in the calligraphy standard you kind of have to make your own temperas, and it was really neat. The paper is made from upcycled denim and cotton canvas. That is amazing.
It's even upcycled.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, I have a bunch of paper for my students. I said we would make paper this year, but I want to either make the screen myself. I have really fine screen, or just figure out a good price for a large soaking screen. But that's awesome. Last year I made before the end of the school year, I made my own gesso. But even with the gesso, it was fairly easy. Your paper making. She says your paper making project sounds like a lot of fun. Yeah. Even when I made the gesso, it was easy enough. But I used ceramic plaster. And then I added flour and salt so it wouldn't get mold. But the thing is, if you want white, you have to kind of just add acrylic white paint. So that felt like kind of a letdown. So I want to find a better recipe this year for my gesso. And you have to use a lot of glue, and the glue was fun. But I was very lucky that I left it in the art room, which gets a lot of direct sun. But I was lucky I didn't get any mold spores or anything like that.
Sorry to anyone who's eating right now. When I was a kid, I would have loved to learn how to make paper, but I was an artsy nerd, so I don't know if that applies to most kids.
Yeah. Apple O'Day, did you put your tempera paint in like clam shells, like, or seashells? What did you house your tempera in? I know seashells can be quite traditional. We've got 13 watching now.
Okay, you don't have to.
Sorry.
It's okay. It's just, most streamers have hundreds and thousands, but that's okay. We're a small channel. And very, very specific subject matter. Was it YouTube Live you were watching last night with all the DJs?
No, that was TikTok.
Oh, that was TikTok. You have TikTok. Oh, I don't even have TikTok. You're hipper than I am.
I got TikTok to watch Parker get a job.
Yeah. I think actually I attempted for about a week and a half to do TikTok because I felt like I needed to, and it's just not my thing.
It's hard to watch craft related things on TikTok.
Yeah.
Using shells would have been cool. I just used little jars and mixed it as I needed. The wet paint spoils quickly, but once dry is good for hundreds of years. That's awesome.
I love making the materials. It just, in the sense of, it connects you to the way it was done,
Yeah.
you know, a long time ago.
Apple O'Day says, I love watching the patterns emerge while weaving.
I know. I love a variegated yarn. Because obviously you can stripe things yourself, but it's more work, and then I always worry about the ends. Yeah. So.
Tinka24 said, I just wove a scarf of hand-dried, hand-spun yarn. I am pretty proud of it because it is the first time I actually use my hand-spun yarn. That's amazing.
That's incredible. Yeah. I have not gotten to that point yet. I have a little. Is it over here? Oh yeah, here it is.
Apple O'Day says, Tinka, that's wonderful. Enjoy your special scarf.
So this was my one attempt at spinning. It's very chunky and very uneven, but you know, it was my first try, so it's still here on the spindle. I haven't done any. There's not really enough to do anything with it, but someday I'd like to try it again. Of course, I've always wanted a spinning wheel, but I don't have room for one.
I wonder how Tinka acquired the wool. Or what was the bunny I said we should buy?
If they tell me they have sheep, I'm done. I'm logging off and I'm going back to bed.
Okay, I no longer wonder how Tinka got the wool.
I would love to have sheep.
Yeah.
And husband wants alpaca.
I do want alpaca.
So, you know. Unfortunately, we do not have enough land for any of that. And I think in a previous life I was a sheep herder somewhere. I'm loving how this pink is working here. Whoopsie. Okay, one more time across and then I'm going to advance it. I use a matchstick blind for my warp separator, which is, I I really love it. But the one downside is that when your warp gets too long, the blind gets too thick for the space, and it starts to catch on the screws or the bolts or whatever. So it does have its limitations. If I was going to do a longer warp, I'd probably have to use something more traditional.
Tinka says, thank you. No, I don't have sheep. I purchased undyed fibers online, and it has the rosy face smile where the eyes are closed.
Well, I feel a little better about myself, because if you were doing all of that, I would probably go jump off a bridge. Not really. Just joking.
There's not enough time in the day.
There's not enough time in the day. I mean, I think if I was making things just for the joy of making them, then that would be different. But doing the videos takes a lot of time because it's just me.
Yeah.
So that's my excuse.
If you'd like to say hello in the chat and tell us where you're watching from, we'd love to hear from you.
If anybody new's just come on, this is mostly Big Twist Supernova. I've got a stash of it from before Joann's closed. And I'm weaving a bunch of stuff for Woolly Fest that I'm doing next weekend.
Woolly Fest was nice last year. It was a small show, and it was at a local arts space.
The Hellman Creative Center. Yes.
Apple O'Day says, my painting project is years in the making. I started the paper 2 years ago, and it was a steep learning curve.
Oh, I bet.
But so worth it. I'm sure. They even got pizza for us last year, which was really interesting because you don't really go to a show where they're like, okay,
Yeah, we were spoiled at that show. We got a little canvas bag with snacks, and didn't they have coffee or something in the morning?
Yeah, they had a coffee. Whew. They had a coffee
Yeah.
It felt very very nice.
Mhm. Yeah, we've had some nice perks at shows before.
Yeah.
But more often than not, by the time you get set up, I'm questioning my life choices and wondering why I do this, because it's just hard work. But man, that one was like living it up. And then it was so well attended and we sold a bunch of stuff. So it was just like the best show ever.
Yeah.
Hopefully I can have enough for this time.
When it comes to craft, I can be quite a putterer, so I really appreciate when someone puts a lot of time into something. I'm the puttering potter.
I'm not, nope. I'm not going to say anything. The puttering potter. Don't know if that has quite the right ring to it. One of these days, we want to start putting Jason's pottery videos up too, but yeah.
Apple O'Day says, the puttering potter, ! Haha, I love it. I'm a putterer too.
I mean, it would be a nice contrast to all those dudes on YouTube, like shirtless and like making pottery, and you'll just be like, I'm the puttering potter. Yeah. I'm just here hanging out, making some stuff.
Like, I'm helping you right now with this live because I looked on for my grad school program and saw it wasn't due till tomorrow for my one reading. So I'm like, I can spend a little time helping Jen.
Why do something today if you can do it tomorrow?
Well, I'm going to do it later after you're done the live.
I'm the queen of procrastination, so I have no room to talk. The puttering potter.
So how do you normally choose your color combinations?
Well, more often than not, at least for the YouTube channel, I pick variegated yarns because they're more interesting, I think, to watch being woven with than just solids. So that sort of sets the tone, you know. And then when it comes to picking, if I'm not using the same yarn in the warp and the weft, sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Then it just becomes a matter of which of the colors can I find in the right weight and the right content and the right color to use as the warp. So it's really a it's not really a specific process. I tend to wing things a lot. That's for sure. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. That was the weirdest thing when I started learning how to weave, because I'd been knitting for a long, long time. And I never did color work or anything. It was always just one thing of yarn. So you knew how it was going to look with itself because it's itself. But then when you go to weave and you've got the warp and the weft, that really sort of locked my brain up for a while, because I had to sit and think about, well, this yarn is pretty, but what am I going to put with it? Getting some light pink in here now. Uh-oh. I hope I only did that once. Whew, I caught it in time. I had a sticky end, but luckily I didn't weave it last time.
I'm seeing what you're talking about now because there is a slight delay, which I think is natural.
Yeah. I don't think so. The width of this would have fit on I have an Ashford 16-inch that I love. That was my first loom I ever got. So I could have technically done this on that one, but the reason I'm on my shacked is because I have the variable dent reed on this one. And I like to have the bigger holes for the Supernova, because every so often you get one of these. The only thing I don't love about this this loom is that because I set my shuttle down on each side of it because I'm on a table, the yarn tends to get caught on the knob on the side. So that's a little irritating, but I don't think most people weave this way, so it wouldn't really matter to anybody else. I tried to put it in my lap the way I always see on other videos, and I just could never get the hang of it, so I gave up. The next colorway I'm doing is this one, which I'm very excited about, but I can't find any good colors in my yarn, so I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I might have to break down and go buy something.
Sometimes lives are a good way to kind of ask the viewers what they'd like to see on the loom or finishing projects. You know, I know that you've made some bags out of your looms. I don't know if the live would be interested in seeing how you take something that you make and then turn it into a functional bag.
Like in real time?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if people have that kind of patience anymore to sit like that, but maybe.
I mean, there's entertaining when the loom moves, when the shuttle moves. There's this, like, you know, overall.
Yeah.
Like, it's a satisfying thing. Apple O'Day asks, when you go buy something, do you also pick up a lot of other things? The temptation of new yarn always gets me.
Oh, yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah, I mean, because I mostly weave for the channel, although I do sometimes weave for gifts and things. But that's one of my favorite things, is that it gives me an excuse to go out and buy yarn. But the channel has definitely been, it's expensive to do this for sure, because I do go out with one thing in mind, and then I find something else, and then I think, oh, this would look better with a different color warp, and then I go buy that, and it's just, yeah, but that's okay. Yeah, I have more yarn than any human could ever use in their lifetime. And yet I still never seem to have the right color and the right weight for what I need.
Last time we went to Michael's, we walked over and we saw the new sketchbooks they had, the bound sketchbooks, and I couldn't help but get one of those for our girls.
Yeah, those were really cool. It's, you know, there are lots of places you can buy yarn online, obviously, and local yarn shops are excellent and amazing and wonderful. But I tend to focus on, and I do feature hand-dyed things occasionally because they're really nice to work with. But the focus of my videos, I try to use yarn that people can get locally and inexpensively. I used to buy a lot of my stuff at Joann's because that was the main place in the United States where people who wanted affordable yarn would go.
Yeah.
Michael's does not really have very much. Michael's doesn't know what they want to be anymore. I was in there the other day and they were selling area rugs.
Yeah.
What? Why? But anyway, and I got a few from Hobby, and those are really fun. But it's just hard. I like to be able to see things and feel it and squish it and, you know, see the colors, and I don't like buying yarn online. It's just not as fun. So that's been a weird adjustment since they closed.
We do have a couple really nice local yarn shops, but sometimes you have to have quite a drive to get to one you really want that day, or, you know, one of them around here has really short hours. There's been a real hole in the market since Joanne's closed.
For a certain kind of crafter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a shame because you figure someone would be able to see that and take advantage of it. But
I mean, I wanted to buy a yarn store, but you wouldn't let me, so. It's not my fault.
How do other people procure their yarns? Is there a besides buying online? Obviously, is a good option, but are there mom and pop shops more in your neck of the woods, in your area?
I tend to weave with things that I think real weavers would consider to be knitting yarns or crocheting yarns. Partly because that's what I had when I started. And once I discovered that I could use the yarns that I already had tons of, I mean, that was that. So, and I'm impatient, and thin yarns take forever, and I just like things to be done faster. But they make beautiful fabric. I got this little comb in a kit with a tiny little shuttle and a weird big wooden needle. Either at Michael's or Joann's, I don't remember. And at the time I bought it, I thought, I don't know, am I ever even going to use that? And it's not, I think it was made for their tapestry loom setup. But man, it comes in handy. The little comb, I use it all the time.
Apple O'Day says, in Vancouver, we have a few independent shops, as well as a Michael's. I also inherit or get gifted a lot of yarns. Once someone learns, I weave and knit.
That's the best. So we have a creative reuse, recycle hub here in town. And the two of us were just browsing one day. And this woman came up to me, and I guess we got into a conversation about what she had in her bags or something. But she said, I've got all this yarn that I came to drop off, and you know, if you want it, you can have it. So I just got all these. I gotta find those. I think they're at the studio.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's true. And then I do like to use secondhand yarns from. We have a place in town called Scrap It Up. It's a creative reuse place that's just awesome. But you know, it's hit or miss. You can go and find everything you've ever wanted, or one day you go and there's not much there. So it's kind of you can't really go with a specific project in mind. It's more of just going and seeing. It's like going to a thrift store. You know, you just see what's there that day.
It's yarn donation is like a beggars can't be choosers kind of thing, but you don't know how that stuff was treated, where people are sitting, where it's sitting in, like if it's sitting in their like basement.
Okay.
Or...
I wasn't going to get into all that icky stuff, but sure.
What I'm trying to say
mean,
is,
when you buy yarn from a store, you don't have to bring it home and treat it and put it in the in case it's I don't know. So I don't really use upcycled yarn much for things that I'm going to sell. I mainly do that just for fun or things that I'm making for myself. Just because I know not everybody thinks that's some people think reused things are icky, so I guess I understand that.
I know you tried to do a lot of upcycling, and I know you tried to take wool sweaters apart, and one of the things I noticed was that after you take it apart, often the yarn is fragile. Unless
I have just been consistently unlucky in the sweaters that I've chosen to take apart. But that has been my experience every time. I've done it probably 5 or 6, maybe 10 times.
Sure.
And every time I do it, now it can be used for the weft, but even knitting with it was hard. It would just break. So, I don't know. And I wasn't doing anything harsh with it in terms of cleaning or treating or anything. So I don't know. Someday I want to get back into that because it's very satisfying taking a sweater apart. I mean, one that I haven't made. That would be agonizing. When you find an old sweater that's a really dated silhouette or something that maybe it's got a stain in one part or something, and you can take it apart and reuse it, that's really fun. I love to do that. I also love buying old wool sweaters and felting them and then making things out of the felted wool.
Yeah.
There's just not enough time in the day.
If you just joined, Jen's weaving, I'm watching. Let us know where you're from and where you're watching.
Or just lurk. That's fine too.
That's what I'm doing.
No, you're not. You're interacting. That's the opposite of lurking.
Yeah, I think we talked about making the pottery a separate channel, which I kind of like.
I mean, you look up the question of, is it better to have a specific targeted channel, or is it better to branch out and have different things? And you'll get 100 answers, and all the answers will be different. So I don't know. I don't know which is better. It probably both ways probably have their own pros and cons.
Yeah.
I mean, this channel's already monetized, so it would be nice for you to just start doing videos, but I don't want to confuse people. I'll be like, who is this random dude doing pottery on this channel?
I mean, I did try to do many live on our Instagram, but the truth is you can't beat YouTube for its numbers, its viewership. Like it's what the platform's made for. It's made for videos. Okay, you may need to look at the message to pronounce this name because my dyslexia is killing me right now.
Nuria Kadarova?
Katarova.
Wow, that's beautiful.
Hey everyone, where can I buy such a machine for weaving?
Well, the only place that I buy from is in the United States, and so I don't know where you're located, but I like to go on woolery.com. They're a local place in Kentucky, and they have all kinds of different looms, and they're very friendly and very knowledgeable. You can call them or email them and ask them questions. I went in one day to buy a stand, and they kind of pulled me aside and said, no, that's not the one you want. You want one like this. And I was like, oh, okay, because I didn't know any better. So it's a really great place.
I mean, Ashford, who makes looms,
That's
they're
true.
in New Zealand, but they originated as an American company that moved to New Zealand because there were more sheep per capita than people. So there has to be a distributor, I would hope, near you that are dealing with these international products. Because a lot of these companies are being made in New Zealand or made in China, and then being shipped internationally. So I would look on the Ashford website too to find local distributors. They will post people, so they post the Woolery, although it was easy for us to find the Woolery because you just.
And sorry.
No, you go ahead.
We can put links in the description when we're done.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I'm not affiliated or anything. I just like them. I realized that I missed a stitch, so I'm unweaving for a second, and this yarn is very sticky when you try to unweave it. Very, very sticky. It does not like to let go. Let go.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for links, by the way. It could be great. So yeah, they would like the links.
Absolutely. Got a bit of a fuzzy knot here.
Yeah, I love looking at Ashford's website because, oh my gosh, you see these green rolling hills, and then you see all the materials they sell.
Oh no! I broke a thread.
Now, how do you fix that? What's the?
Well, there's a couple different ways I can do it. I gotta think here. I guess I was pulling it too hard when I was trying to untangle it. So let me finish getting the missed stitch out of here, and then I'll figure it out. All the most fun problems are happening today.
Ha! Only on the lives.
This is very, very, very sticky yarn.
Yorina says, wish you luck in your project.
Thank you so much.
There's a luck clover. Apple O'Day says, all these problems let us know this video isn't AI.
That's a good point. Oh, I think I wrapped it around one of these too. Yeah, that's for sure. You're never going to watch one of my videos and think, that's so perfect, it must be AI. Which, it's getting so realistic. It's kind of terrifying. All right, so I've gotten the mist stitch out. So there's a couple things I can do. What I'm probably going to do is, because I'm lucky that I have a second cake of this, I'm going to see if I can grab a gray spot. Ooh, actually, here we go. Okay. This is some of the yarn that I used in the warp. So what I'm going to do is, first I'm going to pull it through where it broke. First I'm going to find where it went through. There we go. And then there are different things, different ways it can be done. Because this yarn doesn't exactly match the yarn that broke, what I'm going to do is pull it through and then leave a bunch of it. And I'm not going to do this right now because it would be like watching paint dry. But I will put this on a needle and reweave it through where the broken yarn is.
Okay.
So I'll just do that at the end. But for now, I'll go through a few of them so that it's in the right spot. And then I'll just let it hang off the back of the loom and we'll go on about our business.
Okay.
The very, very, very first thing I ever wove, I didn't know what I was doing, and I just grabbed a bunch of pretty yarn, and I think three of the ends broke at one point when I was weaving. So it's not fun, but it's good to know how to fix it. And there are lots of different ways you can fix it. This is just kind of how I like to do it. So then we'll hang this off the back.
That was what was nice too about having the woolery, because we went there and one of the people who run the space, they were able to kind of say show how a glide should move or speed or and they definitely kind of communicated a lot of things that maybe you're not aware of. So that's why it's good to figure out if these distributors have open shop times. Like the Woolery's open for the public. It was on Thursdays, right? Fridays. So you had to go on Friday, and the rest of the time it's an online shop, so they're not open. I mean, and you could probably go in, maybe, but they're not.
Nope, it's not open to the public. Yeah. I mean, we're not affiliated with them.
Yeah.
In any way.
Yeah. We
just like the place. The last time we went, Fridays was the day it was open to the public. That could be different now. I haven't been on the website in a while, so. Just a disclaimer. So I wrapped the new ball of yarn in a rubber band and let it hang off the back of the loom so that it keeps some tension. Because if you just leave a loose strand, your tension will be loose, and it'll be a whole thing. You'll end up missing the stitch again. So.
Can you also put a weight on it? Like, I know that you have to weigh some things.
Yep. I've never bought official weaving weights. I just tend to use things I have laying around. So I've got S-hooks and different things that I use to weigh them down. But you can actually buy weights that are specifically made for this.
And that's something I like about working when I watch you work on the loom too, is because you don't have to use official things for every single thing you do. You can kind of find a style that works for you. I know that you get bamboo blinds to roll up the the yarn around
just for the warp separator.
Yeah, for the warp separator. And you know, like I've seen other people use like crunched up paper, like packaging paper. I've seen people use single bits of cardboard, which I feel like often come with a loom kit.
Yeah, I mean, this is what generally comes with. And they work perfectly well. I think they're a little fiddly, and I don't like having to mess with them as I roll up my warp, and the blinds just work really well, but nothing wrong with those.
But you're allowed to find, I mean, you're obviously allowed, but it allows you to still have your own innovation and your own style. And for the smaller loom, Jen will use kind of just a wine crate stand.
Not as the warp separator, though.
No, not as a warp, but I'm saying to bolster the loom. If you're just joining, Jen's working on the rigid heddle. We had a snafu with a break that was just fixed. And we're moving forward. Feel free to say hi in the comments. Some of us were talking about some projects we're working on or where we're viewing from.
Almost time to advance again.
I'm surprised we haven't been interrupted by our studio cats.
Oh, I thought you were going to say, surprised we haven't been interrupted by our kids. And I'm like, they don't come out of their rooms, so there's very little chance of that.
Those loft beds are too enticing. It's an overcast Sunday here in Southgate, Kentucky. You can hear the birds chirping.
Still recovering from trick or treat. My youngest was very disappointed because she dressed as a character from her favorite book series, and everybody kept calling her Wednesday Addams, and she was like, I'm not Wednesday Addams. So that was kind of sad.
Heather Bullwickle, hi, so glad I caught your live.
Aww.
Your project looks so pretty and cool.
Thanks.
I have to go back and check for from the beginning Namaste.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I mean, we've got a fair amount of videos on there now. Although, if you're going back to the beginning, be prepared for some rough audio quality and things. But that doesn't really matter when you're just trying to watch somebody weave.
The Nevermore book series. No, it's was it called what?
Hooky.
Hooky.
Yeah, I don't really know what I don't know what it is really, but she likes it, and it was this little girl and she wears a short black, poofy dress, short sleeve with like a white collar. But that's really the only similarity, but I think most people just assumed it was Wednesday because they don't know this obscure book character, so.
Yeah, that was Apollo Day, and we'll have to check out the Nevermore.
I mean, I want to read the Nevermore book series now. That sounds.
Yeah. Apollo Day also commented, I've subscribed to your channel for a long time. You're inspiring.
Oh,
that was
you.
So kind.
I do. One of the favorite thing I have people tell me is that they found before they thought that weaving was really intimidating and serious, and and then they see me on here just kind of goofing around and using whatever I can find, and it makes it seem less daunting, and that's great. I love to, because that's how I felt when I started. I just would sit there and stare and think, what yarn do I use? What goes with what should I? And then once I relaxed and just started messing around, it got to be a lot more fun.
I mean, before you did this, you were an avid knitter.
Yes.
And it's hard to jump into something completely new, and especially when you don't know how it's going to go. Or
should I tell the story?
You can tell the story.
So we've been together for 12, 13 years now.
Yeah, 13. Yeah.
And our very first Christmas together, my husband bought me an Ashford 16-inch rigid heddle. Extraordinarily nice gift. And I was astounded by the gift, but also very intimidated and kind of overwhelmed. And I just wanted to knit. And I just was like, my brain can't handle something new right now. I don't know how to do it. I don't know what I'm doing. And so the box ended up in a closet for 12 years.
Oh.
It did. 11 years maybe. 10 to 11 years.
10 years.
Regardless, it was a long time.
Yeah.
And one day I saw the box and went, I think now's the time. And I put it together, and I've been weaving ever since. But
what my wife is not telling you is that we had several places we had to move, and everything was moved around, and we went from not only one city to another, but one complete different state, and we were dealing with career changes and all these other things. So there's a lot more to the story.
Bottom line is, it hid in its box for a long time. Who knows where I'd be now if I had just opened it up at the time and gotten started, but
I like the last project that you brought downstairs was the oven towels or the
just like tea towels.
Tea towels.
Yeah. Yeah, those were fun. They turned out really nice.
They're wonderful.
I was expecting them to look spooky and Halloweeny, and they really just ended up looking more like a sunset. You know, the colors look, but that's pretty too. But yeah, they turned out they look different than I was expecting. But that happens.
How much do you have to kind of let those expectations kind of go?
All the way. Oh no. Do I have another thread breaking? No, I just have a oh my goodness. See, I've used this before and I didn't have a problem. To be specific, the threads that I keep having trouble with are not the, there's another one. Okay. Something else. Luckily, I have some green.
Heather Bullwinkle says, actually, I was looking up something big twist and found your review. You inspired me to take a class on rigid heddle, and I bought a loom.
Aww.
6 scarves later, and new mistakes each time.
Yep.
Thanks tons! Exclamation.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, that's great, Heather.
You have to be willing to make mistakes, or else it's just an exercise in frustration.
Yes.
Now, once again, I don't know if my head is blocking this, but I put this on a needle. This is the yarn that I'm replacing the broken one with. I'm just going to weave it through a little bit. I'll finish weaving it through later, all the way down to the bottom. And then I'm going to take what's left. And actually, I think what I might do for this is just put it in a clip. There we go. And I'm going to throw it over the back and let it hang. The clip will weigh it down enough so that I get some decent tension on it. And there you go. So now I'm going to continue. Yeah, I really didn't have any expectations when I started doing these videos. I wasn't sure, you know, I didn't even know if anybody would watch. But hearing that they've helped even one person is just amazing. In a perfect world, I would have a designated day and time that I do lives, but I just started a new job and the schedule fluctuates. So I really don't have a specific day and time that I'm always going to have available. So we might just have to do it sporadically for now. I think a lot of people just watch the lives in the replay anyway. But I do enjoy the interacting with people in real time. Got another fuzzy on this. I always forget how squeaky this chair is until I'm sitting in a quiet room. I need to bring that other chair up here. Oh, shoot. I missed another stitch. Luckily, it's only one row back. Okay, I'm going to weave it back through here. And then out of there. Wow. Yeah, this yarn, I keep getting these fuzz balls. It's all right. I think that yarn is it's called Color Burst. That's in parts of the warp. I had some left over and it matched so well that I decided to put some in the warp. All right. I got it. That's one of the dangers of sticky yarn in the warp, is that sometimes when you change the shed, it'll stick together just enough that you get it on the wrong side of the shuttle, and then you end up with a skipped stitch.
So is that something that before you even start, when the yarn's together itself and you're pulling it, is that something that's noticeable, or is it less noticeable?
Well, here's the thing. Well, sort of yes and no. Because lots of times when you're messing with the yarn, especially I notice it the most either when I'm trying to get it, either I'm trying to warp with it or I'm trying to wrap it on the shuttle, it will stick to itself, and then that's a pretty clear indicator that it's going to be a sticky warp. But sometimes I'll have a yarn that seems really sticky and I'm sure it's going to be a nightmare, and then it's not a problem at all. And sometimes the opposite. I'll have one that I never would have guessed would be terrible, and it ends up being sticky. So sometimes it's just a trial. I mean, that I suppose is one of the reasons why you're supposed to do samples, but I'm way too lazy and impatient for that. So I rarely ever did knit gauge swatches when I was knitting either. So don't follow all of my advice.
What would you say is the largest change in your technique since 2 years ago when you started versus where you are now?
Gosh. Well, warping is much faster now. I've got my technique down to a point where I can get something warped in a pretty short period of time, whereas when I first started it would take a couple hours. And I don't have to sit and mess with my selvages as much anymore, which is good because that takes time. So those I guess those would be the two biggest things. There's probably more that I'm not thinking of.
Heather says, "Cool, cool. Heddle you have there. Oh, it's a cool heddle you have there. Sorry if you've already talked about samples. Question. Gosh, no. LOL."
So what's the question? What the loom is?
Yeah, the loom. Which loom are you using?
Yes, this is a 25-inch shacked rigid heddle with, let me show you, a variable dent reed. So it comes with all different sizes of cartridges or whatever you'd want to call it, and then you can decide what sizes you want in what places. So that's fun.
And that's the largest rigid heddle you have?
Yes, it's the largest one I have. They go much bigger. I think Ashford makes a 48-inch, if I'm not mistaken. But that just that just seems enormous. I can't imagine using that. Not to mention it.
Read. ... Still learning terminology. Thanks.
Well, when it comes to the rigid heddle looms and theirs, you can actually interchange reed with heddle. So, yeah, that can be, that's perfectly fine. You can use those interchangeably. I'm still not great with terminology. Half the time when I'm writing up descriptions and stuff on the videos, I have to Google what the right term is because I don't want to say the wrong thing. But
well, that's the point of this new technology in the smartphones. It's supposed to save us extra storage from our memory. We don't need to remember all these things. We have Google.
That's my excuse. It's not that I'm forgetful. I just don't have to remember it. You want this one?
Sure.
I mean, oh, I'm only at 28% on here. But you know what? To be honest, if you're sitting in here, I don't really need this in front of me.
Okay.
So, you've got a house full of old devices that don't hold a charge. Ooh, it's hot.
Oh no, I need...
There's one right here.
Oh, but no, I'm saying I need the iPad if you're handing me this.
I'm confused.
Because I was using my computer. It's not going to charge on the same...
Oh, they're different plugs?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay.
that's up.
Yeah. Making some noise. Get some noise. Get some noise. Ouch.
What you doing?
Oh, sorry.
I don't care. Just trying to find a place to plug that in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, did you want to try the... Here. If you want to mess with this one, it's here. I don't know if it'll work or not.
So I think I interrupted you, but you were talking about the different the difference from kind of where you were at years ago versus where you're at now.
Oh, I mean, I feel like we pretty much covered it. Yeah, you know, I warp faster and my salvages are better. Would be the two biggest ones that I would think that I can think of.
Okay. Gesundheit. has the wattage. That's
Oh, well.
Good try, though.
Yep.
Heather sent a message saying, love those colors.
So pretty. I love the the pink with the green, or the magenta with the green. I think it's really nice. All right, we're going to advance again. Is there any way to mute that?
Mm-hmm. Apple O'Day says, have you ever tried a circular knotting machine to make socks?
Knitting, I'm assuming. Circular knitting
Yeah.
machine. I have never used a machine.
It does say knitting.
I've never gotten around to trying one of those. They look really fun, but I haven't. I've made socks and mittens and things with double pointed needles, but I've never done the circular machine. It looks like it would be a lot of fun though. I have a straight knitting machine that I got in college, but I haven't used it in forever.
Now I'm curious if Apple O'Day ever made socks.
You know, I misspoke. What I meant to say was I've made mittens and other round things with double points. I've never actually... Oh, that's not true. I've made baby socks. I did make baby socks, baby booties, but I've never made adult socks. And of course, baby socks are pointless because they just kick them off anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, for any of those who for any of those who do not know, we have two daughters. Our oldest is 11. And
I don't.
Okay.
You don't need to give ages.
Okay. Well, we have two daughters, and they've outgrown most of the amazing things that, you know. Now they're into more custom stuff that they enjoy, which is fine.
I mean, I don't think I've made them clothing since they were toddlers, so.
Apple O'Day says, I have knitted socks right now I'm knitting socks right now as I'm listening. Never use the machine, but when I'm weeks into knitting a pair of socks, I dream about a machine.
Yes. Normally for me, it's when I have to start the second one of anything, of the mitten or whatever. It's like, oh, the first one was fun, but now I have to do another one that matches it. Do you use double points or a circular needle? I would love to know.
Apple O'Day says, I feel like my whole adult wardrobe's based upon a very cool crocheted tunic my mom made me. I use double pointed needles for socks.
3 cheers for the double points.
It's fun to it's fun to have those memories of those things that our parents did for us. how they shape our craft.
All right, you're going to be difficult.
Apple a Day says, Mom made it for me when I was kid in the 70s. Give you an idea of the style and color. 70s does kind of communicate a certain stylization.
Yep. Well, this is... Oh, there we go. I think this is the first year in a while that I've made either a part of the girls' Halloween costumes. I sort of swore off making those the year... How old? She was, I don't know, 5, maybe?
Yeah.
And she wanted to be Pinkie Pie from My Little Pony.
Yes.
And because I am me, I spent like 2 weeks making a hat that was basically Pinkie Pie's head with all this coiled hair and big applique eyes, and it looked really nice. And then come Halloween, she refused to wear it. So that's when I learned my lesson. So it was strictly store-bought for quite a while after that.
Apple O'Day said, sorry for the typos, my dyslexia brain's in overdrive, and I said, happens to me too. But it explains why they're so creative.
Is there a correlation?
I think so.
Oh, okay.
I think that when you have dyslexia, one of the best ways to communicate with people. So, like, neurodivergence, one of the best ways to communicate with people who are neurotypical is through creativity. I think it's a strong way to communicate. And Apple O'Day says, yep, I think so too.
Alright. This is not cooperating, but that's okay. Oops.
Apple O'Day says, I appreciate live streams because it's a way for me to body double. So thanks for going live.
Absolutely. Yeah, I didn't know that that was a thing. But I learned about it from researching body doubling for cleaning, which is something that there are channels of people who just do videos of them cleaning their house. And then you can play that to try to motivate you to clean your house, which I'll take any motivation I can get.
Apple O'Day, I host weekly body doubling sessions for neurotypical seniors. We get up to lots of different stuff.
Oh, wow. That sounds so interesting.
Yeah, it really does.
It didn't even cross my mind, but that's a really great thing for people who maybe are living alone and maybe can't get out enough. It's a nice way for them to be able to connect to other people.
Yeah, I agree.
So the yarn on the left side is a little loose, so I have just S hooks, and I'm just going to hook them on there and let it drape off the side, and it holds it down, gives it just enough tension.
Apple O'Day says, I of course meant the opposite of neurotypical.
I knew, yes.
Yeah,
I figured that's what you meant.
Yeah.
And that's a typical thing that a neurodivergent person would do. So, and we both are. So it was like.
I mean, I think neurotypical people need help too.
They can fend for themselves. Just kidding. I'm going to take this one to the end and hem stitch it, and then take a short break and come back and start a new one from the beginning. And I'll try to set up the camera to have a good angle while I'm warping everything. In case anybody, I know that can be intimidating in the beginning, so I'll do my best.
Upload Day says, everyone wins in neurodiverse spaces.
It's so interesting because I had no idea. When I was a kid, nobody talked about neurodivergence, or ADHD was just something that hyperactive boys had,
Yeah.
And so it wasn't until my kids got old enough to show signs and need to get diagnosed, and I started researching ADHD so that I could understand them. Little did I know that when I was reading through all of the characteristics and the symptoms that I was like poster child. So that was a strange thing to come to realize as an adult. But it sure does explain a lot.
I think that the neurodivergency, from what I remember, it came from a mother and a daughter, and it's, although not completely used, overall in the world of clinical study, I think it's an accurate term, because from what I've read, they and other people were very tired of hearing these very clinical communications, and they were, and a lot of everything that you read about is very specific. So a broader term for people who may have dyslexia or attention deficit, and then there's so many common factors by someone who is dyslexic may have attention deficit disorder. Like, there's so much connection,
overlap.
And then you also have anxiety-based learning disabilities, like OCD and other things. And it encompasses so much. I think people just need to have a communication that's very like open. As I read about intellectual disabilities in my grad school books.
Okay, this one just does not want to stay put. Got another broken one. This has been a nightmare. Crap. I did not remember this yarn being so difficult, but apparently. Okay, what are we gonna put in there? Frustrating. Nope. There it is. Pull that through from the back. I'm going to weave it through the first maybe inch and then pull enough out so that I can weave it all in later. Well, I'm not going to be using that other yarn in the warp anymore, that's for sure.
Heather, says, I'm sorry, the scarf I just made had a broken thread in the warp, and I just had to finish it off shorter. And made another even shorter one, but now I'm learning.
Yeah.
Still bummed for you.
It's one of those things that, the first couple times it happened, it was tragic, but now that I kind of understand, it's not the end of the world, and you can just weave another one through. It's more really just an inconvenience, and it takes extra time, which right now when I'm trying to get ready for a show is not ideal, but at least it's salvageable. That's the main thing. But I do appreciate it. Advance again. Oh, what was that? Should have put it in neutral first, and I forgot. And then every time I advance, I have to make this a little longer. This is the extra strand of, I think this was the first one I did. So I make it just long enough to hang over the back. It's not an elegant solution, but it works. Oops. Usually. There we go. And same for this one. Oh, poor ribs. Oh, okay. Okay.
Tinka 42, just an idea. Maybe it works better if you advance the warp more often, even though you have to undo the yarn balls.
You know, that's a good point. And I, technically speaking, from, I do think that I should be advancing it more frequently. And the reason that I've gotten into the habit of advancing it less frequently is because normally when I'm filming, I try to pack as much into the space as I can just for the sake of the video. But you're right. It's really not great to be weaving really far up because it does put strain on the yarn. I think I read somewhere that you're supposed to weave within just a few inch space and just advance it so that you're always in this small space. I've never tried that, but I should. Nothing like weaving to the soothing sounds of the neighborhood dogs.
We have Agatha here who's having trouble negotiating something in the room. I'm getting frustrated.
I mean, you're being kind. She's purposely antagonizing Jet.
Oh,
and then getting
I
yelled
can't
at.
see it. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I couldn't tell what she was doing. But she has our youngest cat was getting very aggravated at being pushed around by the older cats, and now the role has reversed. Seems like I have to go downstairs soon and hang out with the dogs.
Mm-hmm. Lucky you. You realize next we're going to have to get another cat who will play with Agatha because she wants to play and the other ones don't.
Mm-hmm.
It's an endless cycle.
Let's get a great one this time.
Okay. She's under the footrest.
Okay.
near the end of the blind back there, so we're getting close to the end.
Oh, we have another comment that I didn't see. Apple a day. Gotta go. Thanks for this. It was fun chatting with you.
Oh, that's so nice.
Yeah, you too.
Thanks for hanging out. Maybe we'll see you next time.
the number for our viewership is pretty steady, but I'm also wondering if we should communicate again about what you're doing.
Sure. I'm weaving.
Okay.
Does that sum it up?
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
I know that we're getting ready for you're getting ready for a show. I'm doing homework.
Yes, I'm weaving scarves for Woolly Fest, which we are doing next weekend.
Yes.
And I've got another broken warp thread. Oh, the stuff. Yeah, now I'm distracted, sorry. This doesn't quite match, but I'm going to use it anyway. Yes, getting ready for a show next Saturday. No, yes, Saturday, right? Yeah. And this is, I think, my 4th broken end. This is not fun.
Okay, so as far as creating a scarf, when is the decision going to be made that, like, okay, I need to scrap this, I need to stop with this? Like, you've had 4 breaks, that may help factor in, but it really is up to, like, taking it off the loom, and then you're like, okay, this is not gonna fly.
I have only ever scrapped a project while I was still, in process, maybe twice. Generally speaking, I try to stick it out. Now, if every single one of these was breaking, I think at a certain point I would have to admit that it wasn't worth continuing, but the only time I think there's one time I remember that I cut something off the loom, and that was when I was trying to learn double weave, and I could not get it. And at the time I only had 1 loom, so while that one was occupied by this failing double weave attempt, I couldn't do anything else. And so I finally just gave up and cut it and went on to something else. But usually I try to keep going, because you never know when something will turn out better than you think. Now, I've had a few projects that I did for the channel that I knew I hated almost immediately, but because they were, I was doing a video, I went ahead and did all the way to the end. And probably that first, what was that one called? It was one of the Karen cakes. It was an off-white and brown that I thought was going to be really pretty, and it just was awful. If I hadn't been doing a video for that one, if I had just been doing it for the heck of it, because that yarn is so cheap, and because I hated it so much, I probably would have chucked that one early on. If I'm being completely honest. Really have to swap out this chair before I do this again. Uh-oh. Is my phone dying?
It says you started streaming 100 minutes ago.
Okay, well, I am just going to take it to the end, because why not?
Why not?
People can stay, people can leave, people can pop in and out. And then I'll cut it off when I finish this one.
The oh, I missed this one, I think, but Tinka says it's bedtime for me. I will watch the rest later. Thank you for the nice evening.
Aw. Thank you for joining us. That's just amazing. Getting close to the end.
Okay.
The blind has fallen to the floor.
Is that a common occurrence?
Well, when it gets to the end, and it, and it
Yeah.
unrolls to the point where it's no longer being held in, that's when you know you're close. they doing? I'm going to run out of yarn before I get to the end, so when I get to that point, I'll just go ahead and hem stitch. More picks and then we're done. Okay, well that's a shame. I wish I had gotten about 8 more inches, but what are you gonna do? I'm gonna weave this through and then we're cutting this thing off the loom. these extra strings. And there it is. Well, that's it. I'm going to cut it off the bottom and sew or weave all those extra ends in that broke. So I'll save that for later though. So thank you very much for watching, guys. I'll be back later with another one.
Oh, we have a comment from Heather. Wow, so pretty.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's gonna
be nice.
Very nice.
It'll wet finish it and it'll be amazing. And then I got to twist all the fringe. All right. Thanks, everybody. I'm going to go get some caffeine. See you next time.
I might join you.